Hello, this is Anthony Fasano, Executive Director for the New York State Society of Professional Engineers, and I'm here once again with our Legislative Counsel, Mark Christ, and this is the second of a two-part video series kind of summarizing some of the key points that we've worked on over the last year here from the legislative basis. And in this video, we're going to talk about three specific items that we're opposing. First, we're going to start with the Land Surveyors Bill, which is going through some revisions to come back as a bill. Mark, give us a brief update on that one.
Absolutely. There's some consensus within the community and state ed and within the land surveyor community to go along with legislation to allow for, or rather to require an associate's degree as a requirement for licensure as a land surveyor, and we have no problem with that. As a matter of fact, it essentially is parallel to our effort to get a bachelor's bill.
Absolutely.
So hopefully we can use that to help move both of them, but we are concerned that the land surveyors historically have taken opportunities to try to include in this kind of legislation provisions that would expand the scope of land surveying to include elements of engineering, and that's one element that we're vigilant to oppose.
Yeah, and I think too, just to be clear, NYSSPE is always trying to promote, support other professions. With the geologists getting licensed, Mark was really instrumental in helping them draft that legislation. Mm-hmm. It's just, then we get to the point where we also want to make sure that, not everyone's able to do engineering services, or anyone besides engineers can do engineer services. So it's just a back and forth. Mm-hmm. This bill you've heard about quite a bit because it's been around for a long time, and Mark's just staying on top of it, and we just want to keep you updated. Mm-hmm. All right, the next one is this green roof legislation.
Yes, this legislation is moving in committees, and we've issued a memorandum in opposition. Essentially, what the bill does is it vests authority in the Department of Environmental Conservation to define circumstances where both the design, the construction, and inspection process for green roofs, which are defined in basically instances where more than half the surface area of a roof is going to be used for putting plants and soil and water, and consequently we have a concern over the potential for this becoming quite a problem in terms of structural integrity and
Sure.
related matters.
Sure.
So the bill would, under circumstances, allow code enforcement officials to decide whether this is appropriately designed and set forth all of the criteria that would apply. And we think that they crossed the line in the bill, and
Right.
it really constitutes the practice of engineering and/or architecture, and it should explicitly require either an architect or a professional engineer to be involved in those processes.
Essentially, under this bill, a green roof could get designed and constructed without an architect or
Correct.
engineer being
Correct.
involved, which is not something that we want to see happen. So below this video, you can get the link to the opposition memo that Mark drafted and we submitted on this legislation, and we're going to continue to, of course, monitor it. All right, the last one we want to talk about is this broad exemption, Mark.
Yeah, well, this has been around. There's been a push by a number of legislators to take an exemption that shouldn't have been in the law in the first place, which essentially says that if a construction project is less than $1 threshold, that the design elements of that project do not have to be done by a professional engineer or an architect, and it just is wrong. I mean, if you have a door that is being modified, and it's dealing with a structural component that somebody who may not be familiar with to be able to really know the impact. The construction project may be less than $5,000, but it could jeopardize people's safety.
Right.
So to expand it to $50,000, we think is absolutely crazy.
Yes, there's no doubt about that. I'm sure most of our members would agree with that for sure. So again, we'll keep you up to date on that. So these are just a few of the bills, the key bills here that we're opposing, but you have to remember we monitor hundreds of bills at any moment. Mark's on top of these bills. We talk on a regular basis, and we're trying to communicate what we're working on as best as we can to you through the videos and through other formats that we can use. We appreciate all your feedback, all your comments. Please continue to send them. You can email me, anthony@nysspe.org, or leave comments below the video. I take those comments to Mark. We talk about them and potentially act on them if it's something that we think we should act on. So you're a big part of this. We hope that we can continue to serve you. So thank you. And again, all the links and information is below, and we're going to keep doing what we do here and continue to keep you updated. Thank you.